Well, hello. Welcome to the Chairs Blueprint. I am your host, Angelica Prather, and my ultimate goal for the Chairs Blueprint is to equip hairstylists and beautypreneurs to carve out your unique path of success and take a seat on your throne. Why are we in business? To leave a legacy. And of course, that is what we're in business, right? I don't know about you, but some of the things of being a hairstylist or being an entrepreneur, you are going to leave a legacy. So, one of my vital reasons why I even started the Chairs Blueprint was to create community and to really bring people together from all walks of life that may not be actually having the opportunity of getting the education, right? But this is what this hub is for, right? So that's one of my keys to success is building a community. So if you're here catching us live, put hashtag live in the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from, who you are. If you are a hairstylist, put hashtag stylist. So we know you're in the building. If you're an entrepreneur and you do something completely else, give a shout out to who you are and what it is that you do. But we also love our replay listeners. So if you are checking out the replay, hello to you guys on Instagram. I'm not on Instagram, y'all, on YouTube and in Facebook. We're in our Facebook community going live. So those stylists that are in the Chairs Blueprint Hairstylist Hub, hello to all of you guys. This is going to be a great show today. For those who might not even know who the heck I am and maybe just finding me on the web, I am Angelica Prather, and I am an income strategist and beauty business coach. And I help hairstylists through my signature program, Charge Your Worth Academy, which is a group coaching program to help hairstylists build profitable business, regain their time, and charge strategically for their services. So they're not a slave to their business. They actually are generating money without being tied to their business. And I love what I do. And today is actually a special show because I actually have one of my students who is an alumni now, but she walked through the journey of Charge Your Worth Academy. If you watch any of our previous episodes, you might have seen an ad or anything about Charge Your Worth Academy, right? And one of the things is, it's one thing to talk about what it is that you do, but to have somebody that's walked through that path and to actually tell you the struggles that they went through. You hear this saying, charge your worth, right? And it's such a powerful statement. But what does it really mean to charge your worth? What does it look like to walk through owning what you are, right? Actually stepping into the CEO role that you are. So I do have a wonderful guest by the name of Darnita Evans. Sorry, I got a lot of tongue twisting going on. I'm really excited about this show. And she's the CEO of EvanEssence Hair Salon, which is located in New York. And I actually had the privilege of sitting in her chair before and getting my hairstyle. So I know she could do some hair, y'all. So that's not the problem, right? But we're going to get into her story. But before we get into, let's check out and see who's in the chat. So we have Miss EvanEssence in the chat. Thanks for joining us. She is our guest. We have Samara Andrews. Thanks for joining us live. It doesn't say your name. I think you're a Facebook user. It didn't say your name, so I'm so sorry. But we appreciate you joining us live. Thank you so much. We have another Facebook user who's a stylist, hashtag stylist. Love to see you guys here. And then we have the Five Finance family who is joining us. Thank you so much. She's a tax strategist and she's actually a power partner to Charge Your Worth Academy students. So she actually supports our students in building out their tax strategy so they could be paying their bills right to the IRS. So we love that. We have Ingrid in the building. Hey, Ingrid, thanks for joining. She's also another student in Charge Your Worth Academy, and she'll be on later this season, okay? Later this month. So this month is May, and a lot of times when we are mothers, we are wives, we are doing hair, we're doing all of those amazing things. I wanted to bring on a mom, right? So happy Mother's Day. It's pretty early, but to all those mothers. But one of the things that I wanted to actually highlight was, as a mother or an entrepreneur, beautypreneur doing hair, a lot of times this is our busy season. And so we feel compelled to be behind the chair and make sure we take care of all of our clients. But we're also mothers too, and then we have that battle of taking care of family and providing for our family. So I am going to bring up Miss Darnita Evans so that you can hear her story and her journey of charging her worth and walking through having me as her coach. So she might tell y'all the truth. I might be, and I'm okay with it, okay? So welcome, Darnita.
Hey girl, hey.
How are you?
Hey, y'all. Hey.
Well, I'm so excited to have you here today. We had so many technical difficulties, and it just was a matter of not getting your message out. I'm like, no, we're going to get this out today.
The
So,
devil be trying to be blocking stuff.
yes, try to block
Not
you from your
today.
blessing and block you from being on the Chairs Blueprint. But I'm honored to have you here. So tell everybody exactly who you are and what it is that you've been doing, how long you've been in business.
I am Darnita Evans. I'm the CEO and founder of EvanEssence Hair Salon, located in Long Island, New York. And my specialty is the silk press service. I kind of cracked the code on helping our naturally curly girls who want to be versatile, being, chemical free. They want to wear it straight sometimes and curly sometimes, but people kind of stopped doing that because they were losing the integrity of their curl pattern. So I kind of cracked the code and figured out what to use and what not to use. And now I can silk press those natural curly curls and coils and with no damage or, compromise to the natural curl pattern.
So you heard that she specializes in silk press. And I love that she said she cracked the code because that's what makes people stand out as a hairstylist or a CEO. There's something that makes you unique. And when I first met Darnita, you were on this journey of doing a lot and not specializing in anything. And so one of the things as a coach is like to position you that you can do everything, but what is it to actually stand out? And so pulling that out was actually a journey, right? Because you're like, I could do it all.
Yeah, because your mindset is, oh, I want to do a little bit of everything so nobody will leave me like, oh, can you braid my hair? Oh, yeah, I'll braid your hair that way you won't leave and go over there. Now it's kind of just like, I have a referral for you because I don't have time for that anymore.
Yes. Yes. And I love that. So that just basically tells you that, yes, you can actually do a lot and you could be talented in all those different things, but you do not have to be a master of all of these things. You want to specify in exactly what it is that you do. Now, you do
Right.
offer other services, and that's what I talk about building a
Yes.
profitable service menu. So before
Yes.
we get into the good, tell everybody how long you've been in business and exactly what was the breaking point to actually saying enough is enough. I need to go find help.
Well, I've been in the business for this July will be 30 years.
Wow. Veteran.
I formed Evanescence Hair Salon back in 2009.
Okay.
So that was when I got my name.
And
Yeah,
then
but
so you started it in 2009, right? And so 30
yes.
years in the business. You're making money, you've seen your career go up down, you've went through the recession, you've been through all of that. What was that point where you said, "Okay, I something needs to change?" What was that like when you think about what was the difference for you to say this is it? I'm not doing business the way I've been doing it.
I think it was all based on just timing and opportunity. Like I knew about you and I knew you were coming. So I knew that was going to be my opportunity to pick your brain when you came and got your hair done. But when I think about it, like social media made it where I was able to see what others were doing. And you kind of are like, I've been doing hair this many years. And then you're seeing all these other people and they're like well into the six figures. And I used to just always be like, how are they doing that? And my mindset is nobody's gonna pay me. Like how can I do that? I didn't
Mm,
know how to do that. And I
yeah.
didn't know anybody in my circle who was doing that. It's
Mm.
like we all was on the same struggle bus. Same
Yes.
bus.
Yes. And so that's good because you said a lot of key things. It's like, I didn't have anybody in my circle showing me how to do it. I also
Right,
was watching, and a lot of us are watching on the sidelines and saying, who's going to pay me that? My clients are never going to pay me
right,
that. That statement right there stops us from even saying, I can do it. So it really
right,
started in your mindset. So I do appreciate you picking my brain because we did pick you. You did. You was like, I'm gonna ask this, I'm gonna
right.
ask that, and we were able to have a detailed conversation about where you were in your business. And so once you decided to join the program, she actually joined on my birthday, y'all. It was my birthday, and I still was working. And once you got into the program, tell everybody what was like when you got into it. Were you like, I love this, or did I make a mistake? Because everybody has that feeling of like, Should I do it or should I not?
Surprisingly, because I remember another student was in the program and she voiced her opinion. So you kind of are prepared to say, oh, well, why did I do this? But once I actually got in there, it wasn't as bad. Yeah, I had nerves, but it wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. Like,
Hmm.
it actually was not that bad. I
Hmm.
mean, a little bit of nerves here and there, and just the thought of like confronting clients, like changes are coming, and then you're like, what they gonna say? But I got through it.
Yeah.
Got through.
So let's go into exactly because we wrestled with a lot of fear with you. You were very fearful about increasing your prices. We broke down your finances. I know that was a big part for you, was like breaking down the finance and actually seeing when you seen that number of what you should be charging in order to actually make a profit in your business. I remember this statement that you made. You said, "Can I have floaties before I jump?"
Yeah, I think too, for how it was a shock to the clients, I just thought because it was such a big jump, and I know that that's not going to always be the case. It's just because I was so far behind, you brought me to where I should be. So it was a shock for me to look at because I think I was anticipating, I was having the same reaction that the clients would have. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was reacting, and I'm like, they're going to react too.
Yeah. So she had to make sense with her numbers because we do this in Charge Your Worth Academy called the Yummy Money Number. And we break down to the cent. What does it really take for your business to run? And when she
Right.
actually seen exactly how much it took her business to run, she was so below market value, and not even market value, actually making enough for her. She was breaking even. So she's
Right.
just getting by and she's 30 years in the business. That is actually scary because that's easy for you to go out of business and for you to be on that hamster wheel of like, I'm on the struggle bus. So if there's any
Right.
stylists that's in the chat, are you, it's okay to be on the struggle bus. Like, we got you, okay? And the reason why I have her on this is because I want you to hear her journey and how she was able to actually come across to the other side. And it is a scary journey. And so we actually worked on your niching, right? So we focused on niching down. And and then we also talked about communication. So I know this is a big one that a lot of stylists were like, "Oh, I communicate." We worked on, what was the thing that we worked on that you was like, "I know this," but then you're like, "I never even really practiced it in this way," when we were talking about like consultations and stuff.
Consultation. Consultation. Yeah, I always knew that was something that there's a lot of things that stylists don't do anymore. Even like consultations, and I'm saying that, but even like with, I know I'm going a little bit off topic, but even like if someone's getting a color service, you're supposed to do like strand tests and patch tests. You know, we'd be like, ain't nobody got time for that.
Right?
But yeah, we basically would just, hey, come sit in the chair. And then you look at it at the time, and then it's like, yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm so used to the consultation now. I really love the fact that I'm seeing what you look like and what's going on before I even touch you.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes life so much easier. Because then even, the clients will book a service, and then it's like, but I didn't see your hair. And then,
Mm-hmm.
do the consultation, and they looking like the Lion King. And it's like, okay, so the price that you saw on the menu is not going to be that price. But
Mm-hmm.
you got,
Yeah, and so I always talk about these three things is your revenue is directly related to your relationship and then the results. And a lot of hairstylists are always so focused on the results part because they know they can do the service, but if you don't know what the client is thinking or what your goal is going to be to get them to the results,
right,
you just are going to be lost. So a consultation is key. And the reason why we even infuse that in as your marketing strategy and your customer service strategy, every client is going to talk to you first as a CEO, right? And so that's was the key thing. And the key thing was to ask certain questions in your consultation, not just so much about the results. You had to walk through their lifestyle, which was huge for
right,
you, right? And I know that
right,
wasn't as easy when we did our mock consultation.
right.
She was
Even
like,
yesterday, it wasn't a consultation, but just a client that comes every now and then. She came in, and I knew what I felt like I should do to her hair, but then she was like, "Oh, I was thinking that I would get it straightened." And I'm kind of like, "But you be sweating in your head.
mm-hmm,
Like, go on and get them twists. And she's like, okay. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, if you gonna be sweating, I don't want you to spend all your money and then you gonna sweat it out tomorrow.
Yes, yes. So now that that you know that you have to communicate with your clients, build that relationship, build that rapport. We know you're a great stylist. You've been in the industry for 30 years, so you already know that. Talk about the importance of knowing your numbers, because before I met you, when I asked you, did you know your numbers? Where were you?
I I was just getting money and putting it in the bank and paying the bills. And then
Mm.
sometimes there was a little bit left over, and sometimes there wasn't. I was not paying my taxes throughout the year. And then when tax time came, I was doing my own taxes. Hey, Samara. But I was doing my own taxes. You know, I was kind of like, I want to keep all my money now, and I'll just deal with tax time when tax time gets here. So
Mm.
now lately, because I was making a little bit more than I was even a few years ago, it's like I owe so much money, and I'm like, Lord Jesus, where I'm getting this money from? I have no
Mm.
savings. I got 3 children, and
Mm.
it's like, and again, you're on social media and you're seeing hairdressers that, like, I'm looking at their stuff. I know you're not supposed to, not that I'm envying what other people have,
Yeah.
but you see people, it's like every time I turn around, this stylist is going on vacations. Like, you only work 3 days a week.
Mm.
And I'm just like, I can do exactly what they're doing. How are they getting that? And I'm sitting over here with nothing.
Mm. Working so hard. So before we actually jumped into how many days were you working?
I was working 5. I'm
Yeah.
still working 5, but I cut my hours down.
Yes.
And even the boldness of me, I thought it was pretty bold that I no longer work late Friday nights. Like, that's
Mm.
unheard of. Like, Friday nights was like, oh, I need to call Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. And so that was really interesting that you said, because you talked about you was paying yourself last. Like whatever was left over, you were getting the scraps, which means that your family is getting the scraps. The bills is like your salon rent is, you're paying that, you're buying products, you're paying your home rent, and then you're leaving yourself last. And so when you were able to see how we restructure it, redo everything, now you sit down every single week and kind of go through your finances. So I do want to
Right.
highlight this particular part for her, because she's probably gonna be like a little shy, but we're gonna pull it out of her. Okay. There was a time where when you got sick and you were sick with COVID, and it was during what season? What season was that?
Christmas, the week before Christmas, we got COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, Lord help us. We got COVID, and my first thought is I have to cancel all of my Christmas appointments.
Mm-hmm.
And surprisingly, thank God I have great clients, because I that's a whole nother topic. But everybody was understanding. Nobody was like mad and like, oh, what am I gonna do? Because I did read someone else's story where the client was mad, talking about, well, can
Mm-hmm.
you come on our N95s? We'll be all right. Excuse me, what? You didn't even ask if she was okay.
Yeah. But you got sick, and then what was that feeling? Because we had a conversation and you were like, I am not worried. And tell them why you weren't worried.
I wasn't worried because I had a system in place that I was putting a certain dollar amount in a savings account, which I have never in my career done. And each week since probably in August, right? I
Yeah.
started
Mm-hmm.
pretty much right away. So from August to December, I had a nice little chunk of change. So it was like, but then what was crazy was I thought I was going to have to use. I ended up not even having to dip into that. I kind of
Yeah.
like transferred a little bit because I got nervous thinking I wasn't going to have enough. And then I literally the next day put it back because I didn't need it.
Mm. And that's the
So,
beautiful thing. Like when you structure your finances, you're preparing, is what I call runway money. You have enough money in your business to actually provide for those rainy days. I tell this all the time to stylists. You make a lot of money, but if you don't position your money and tell it what to do, when the God only knows time comes, you're not prepared.
Yeah.
So you're just making money and you're not telling your money anywhere to go, which is the worst thing that you could do because, like you said, you have 3 children. It's Christmas. You got to cancel you feel bad about canceling your clients, but it's a better feeling when you're not worried because number one, you have resources. Your kids don't have to miss Christmas. You can heal and get better and have that runway stash. And I think that's super, super important. For people, for hairstylists to understand that you don't have to be on that broke hamster wheel, right? Structuring your
Right.
finances is key when it comes to being a hairstylist. And you know what I always call you? You're a CEO. What? First. That is
Yes.
what you are first. I don't ever call you guys just hairstylists. I make you say constantly, I am a CEO because you're a CEO of your life and you're a CEO of that business. And if you don't know where the money is going,
Right.
what are you doing, right? And so I do want to kind of pivot to this particular place because I know that when we first met you was like a coach, like what is that? And a lot of people
I
might
even
be
had this thing that I don't know where it came from. Like, soon as somebody said the word coach, you would be like, I don't need no coach. That's
mm-hmm,
just throwing money out for what? For what?
yeah.
So they just give me something that I don't need. Like, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know.
And so once we met, what changed your mind about saying, I am going to, besides the fact that you knew me, you knew you wanted to change your life. When you're changing your life, meaning you didn't want to be working so hard. You wanted to start putting away for your retirement. You wanted to start paying yourself and having money in your account so that you can do whatever it is that you wanted to do. So what made you say, all right, now I understand what a coach is. What am I going, like, what made you say, I'm going to do it?
I just think I have reached that breaking point where it was just like I don't have anything else to do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there was no other option. I didn't have any backup plan. Like, well, if I decide not to go with the coach, I always have this. There was nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
It was you or nothing. I would have still been struggling, and
Well,
I
with
don't want to struggle no more.
no, and of course not. So tell anyone who might be like thinking about wanting to join Charge Your Worth Academy or not, or just thinking about even getting a coach. What would be your advice to those stylists that's like on that will? Maybe it might not be the same as you, but on that will of like you can do it. You can work less, you can make more, you can do all of that. What would be that advice?
Do it. It's like it's so simple. Don't overthink it. Try to let go of the fear. That's what I really feel like I did because I get fearful for a lot of things. I'm a big chicken scaredy cat about
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things. But for me, it was like I thought about it, but I didn't go. You know how you can go too deep in thought to
Mm-hmm.
change your own mind? Be like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Just
Yeah.
do it. Do it
Mm-hmm.
because if what you're already doing is not working, you got to try it.
Mm-hmm.
Do it.
And the recipe that you were showed is like that busy model. Like you were busy. It's not like you didn't have clients. You were busy, but you
Right.
weren't hitting that revenue goal that you could have made so that if you wanted to take vacation or you wanted to do anything, you were not doing that. And I remember something that you shared with me that you were like, you started late in your career taking educational classes, right? And that was a big,
Yeah.
big turning point for you.
Right. And then even with that, I was spending a lot of money taking classes, maybe learning a technique here or there, investing in a new product that would make my life easier, and then not implementing those changes into the business, just still doing the same pricing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Usually, when people invest, you're supposed to get a return. I wasn't getting a return because I was too scared to
Mm-hmm.
do it.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to talk to you about because when your clients, there were some clients that were shocked of the increase, right?
Yes.
And I know that you were like, that was something you worried about because you immediately was like, you love your clients. Every stylist has this emotional attachment to their clients, but it's not personal. It's business.
Right.
And I remember you were like, but you've had some uncomfortable conversations. What was the voice in your head that was like, I got this? Like, I have to just stand and have this conversation. What was that freedom like for you?
Well, one thing that kind of made it a little bit easier is because when I was so booked and busy, I started developing people in the background, new clients that desired to come. So there was a lot of I was turning people away because like once COVID hit, I had to restructure, because I used to take more than one client before COVID at a time in the suites. So then
Hmm.
once COVID hit, now it's like, now I have to do one client at a time. So now I'm actually going to make less money in the time that I'm working because I'm doing one at a time. Where before I could juggle two, because while somebody was under the dryer, I could do that. So then it was like more of a time saver. So
Yeah.
then I'm just, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And it was
And
a lot.
yeah, and that makes a world of a difference. A lot of stylists think that if they take two, they're making more. What they're doing is they're on a hamster wheel trying to get, even though it might feel like you're running it smoothly, doesn't necessarily mean that you're making more because you don't know how much it takes for your business to operate and run every single minute that you're in that establishment or every
Right.
single hour that you're in that establishment. So that makes a world of a difference. So we have somebody said, this is me right there, not implementing what I've learned to add my value. And
Right.
that's super super key, because a lot of stylists are taking all these technical skill classes, right? So they're,
Yes.
those classes are full because they're fun. That's a creative side. But on the business side, it's empty and it's crickets. And you got to look at your business and realize that this is a business. And one day I might not be able to do this. Your physical body is not going to be able to sustain, but your mental mind is going to be able to sustain.
Right.
So Charge Your Worth Academy helps you strategically look over your finances and get financial literacy, right? So you can start understanding where your money is going and what it's going to do. We have Five Finance said COVID was a blessing and a curse to a lot of entrepreneurs. And she is
Yeah.
100% right. I know for most stylists, they were waiting for the government to like give them unemployment. Now imagine if you
Yeah.
had runway money,
It was me.
right? And so,
It took me 8 weeks before I got money.
mhm,
But at the same time, to all you believers out there, the Lord provided. He said he
yes,
never seen the righteous forsaken nor his seed begging bread. I had food. Our power was on. We were good,
yeah,
even though I was not making the money that I was making. And then I had some clients who were a blessing.
mhm,
I brought all of my retail off the shelves. And
yeah,
people were like, "What are we supposed to do?" Okay, I got these little. I was following what some people was doing. Sell some product to your clients because now they got to wash their own hair at home. So I did that. I had like a couple of flat irons. So I made up little packages. Oh, what do you need? Shampoo, conditioner, and the oil. Great.
mhm,
And then I hung it. They cash apped me, and I would hang it on my mailbox, and they would come pick it up.
yeah.
So they curbside pickup.
And
And
so
then some
many
people
stylists
paid,
did that.
and there was a handful that they were just like, they were okay. They were able to work from home. They
Mhm,
were just like, I feel led to, I'm going to pay you. Like if it was somebody that came bi-weekly, there was a few
mhm.
people, they were like, I'm going to pay you what I pay for my hair bi-weekly as if I was coming, even though I'm not coming. So they
Mhm.
had me up here crying, girl. I'm
Which is
just
a
like,
blessing.
I do.
Which is a
Yeah.
blessing. But here's the thing, most people went back to that old way of doing business, right? So now we're open, we're just going to make money, right? I need to make money. Didn't think about diversifying their income. Now, had you diversified your income or had a cash flow, some people don't have those clients because their clients were also suffering during the midst of COVID, right?
Yeah.
And so I know for me, I was still behind the chair. And one of the things of me being behind the chair and servicing my clients, I didn't really have to do all. I had my own product line that I had launched during the midst of
Right.
COVID, and that was a blessing. But let's be realistic. There's so many stylists that as soon as that was over and they were able to open, they went right back to that hustle and that grind. And that's one of the things that I want stylists to get off the hustle wheel and get off that struggle bus and really start riding the prosperity train. Because when now, Darnita, we're going to talk about your real coins. I remember the first week when you said, oh my God, I am charging my worth. What was that feeling? Because I know the message you sent to me. What was that feeling?
I was just like, you had to do a double take. I'm like, I made how much? Because, like, yeah, so to be real, like before the academy, I was averaging anywhere between, like, it was always a struggle to get close to the $2,000 mark. Like,
Mm,
I have done it in the past, and it was always like when it was like holiday time. So I would probably hit $2,000 two times in a year.
mm,
Other than that, I was always anywhere between 15 and 1800. When I started creeping to like the 1900s, it's just like, oh wow, like to me that was like, oh, I did good.
yeah.
Now it's kind of like, I'm
Yep.
above the 2,000 mark pretty
Mhm.
much consistently now every week.
Yeah. And so you can give them a number. What did you hit last week?
Last week was 2,700
Yeah.
and change.
And how many hours did you work?
Less than 40. I don't count the hours. I just
No,
know
I know you don't.
I
I
had my
count your hours.
I had my I was scheduling myself to just be available when anybody could come.
Hmm.
So like a lot of my days were 12-hour days. Sometimes I didn't work the full 12-hour days, but I was making myself available. So I was like, oh, my hours is 9 to 9.
Mm,
Sometimes it was sometimes where I was booked the whole 12 hours, but
yeah.
then there was times where it's like, oh, I got one in the morning and then one in the evening.
Hmm.
Because it's like if their work schedule, like I was trying to accommodate and work around them.
Instead of
Now
doing the
I've
other
been
way
standing
around.
my ground and been sticking to my boundaries and just working my hours. My hours is my hours.
Yeah. And then that was a struggle for you because you wanted to keep working 5 days a week. So we combated with that. I'm your coach. So it's not like I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. But I was like,
Right.
okay, these are not human hours. This is when you have multiple people. You're one person and you have three children. So we had to figure out, find that balance where she can cut down, where she was going to work later days and actually crunching it. And I love that one of the things you told me, you said your kid said, "Ma, you home?" Like that. She's
Right.
like, "You're home," that was something that was peaceful for you because your kids were not used to you being as available to them. And I think that's one of the reasons why we are enjoying being entrepreneurs. Most hairstylists don't. They're carving their salon around how the clients get off of work and all of it, instead of saying this is my hours of
Yeah.
operation and this is what I have. When we close at 9, we close at 9. When we close at 5, we close at 5. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not being mean to the clients. It's actually just walking your business out, which makes a lot of sense,
Right.
right? So
I see all these in the hairdresser groups. I always just kind of like read comments and people go on there and vent about their issues. And there's so many. It's starting to drive me crazy now. There's so many stylists who they'll put up their little drama story. Oh, I had this client, she X, Y, and Z. And then so many of them are saying, I've even come in on my day off. I've
mm,
stayed after hours or came in earlier than my start time. And so now I'm always commenting in these chats. Like since being in your program, I'm a little more vocal because I'm like, they don't know me like that. And I'm like, first of all, your hours should be your hours. I don't care who it is.
yeah.
Don't go outside of your hours. If you work 9 to 5, don't come in at 8 and then look, you do all that for the clients, and then they don't treat you right sometimes.
Yeah. And so it's allowing people to walk all over your boundaries. So we have a comment. It says, "Wow, the proof is in the pudding. Are y'all doing the math? Did you say $2,500 per week? That's a 10K month." And you are actually correct. Darnita booked out her month of April and she did a 10K month, slightly over 10K.
I know
So
I forgot what the
the
other
actual
number
dollar amount was, I think it was 10K, 200 and I don't have.
something.
So we make them report. I make them report their quarterly
Yeah,
numbers. We go through everything so that they can constantly see their numbers. And so she said, that's a 6-figure year. So, and she's
right.
well on to her 6-figure year. And so I do want to talk about this point. When you first came into the program, I always do an analysis, a financial analysis, and we were going through a fine tooth comb with your numbers. And
Right.
before COVID, we even did your numbers prior to that. You were ranging at that 60, close to 60. You weren't really hitting 60, but you were close to 60K a year. And this year you closed out shy of 90K, and she only increased her prices in the month of November, the end of. So she
Yep.
closed out her year. Her income gap jumped $30,000 just from these small strategies and for small things. And so I know that a lot of people's like, well, she had to invest in herself. She did the work. Even if she didn't like the work, she did a lot of work. We restructured how she actually talked about her business because she was just like, I'm just a hairstylist, right?
Yeah. whole language is different now. Even when I'm typing comments to the people, even one time I was just like, people were just fussing and doing all that stuff, and I was like, what you need to do is invest and find yourself a business coach slash income strategist. And then they will comment like, oh, did you have one? Did it work for you? Yes, it did. Because it's not just us. There's so many stylists, no matter what race. It's on both sides.
Yeah. It's just that
There's a lot of
struggle.
people that are having a hard time. People are always commenting like what state they live in and how much they're charging, and then everybody's putting their little input in there saying, oh, you should be charging more and whatever. But I actually, like, now my language and my knowledge since being in the program, it's like, yes, you can't just make up, like, when you said that to me, like, that like pierced my soul. When you came and got your hair done and you looked at my price list and you was just like, what is wrong with you? These are 90s prices. And you were just like, and you said to me, what is your formula for how you charge? And I remember having like the blank stare, and I heard crickets in the background. Because I was like, I don't know. I just go by what we've always, there was never a formula, a system, a structure. It was just like when I started doing hair, there was a price where I worked. And then I kind of just coasted through life, following the same what we did and just raising it up. Couple of $5, $10 every couple of years here and there. And then it's just like, so that's the thing. Even if I had a raised every year, because that was the thing too, I didn't stick with even every year. I remember stylists saying, oh, at least put $5 every single year. I didn't even do that. If I had done that from a certain time frame, I would have been way further than what I was when you met me. At least I would have been making a good amount. And then it wouldn't have been such a big shock to the clients initially. But I didn't even do that because I'm telling you, folks was fussing about $5. And then just hurtful comments. There's only one particular, and it's just like, her question was, why are you doing this? And, I'm trying to explain, it's 2021. I got to keep up with blah, blah, blah. And her response was, you don't have to do what everybody else is doing.
I love Darnita's
reaction. Did you just say that to me? Like, I felt so hurt that you would say that. Like, so you just want me to stay right here and you going on trips and doing this and that, like, miss me with all that.
Yes. And the beautiful thing about you saying that, and I love that you shared that story, because I think a lot of people feel stuck and they feel so compelled to their clients, but you don't realize that you don't even see all of the money that you actually charge. And now being in charge of Worth Academy, you take a portion of that, right? That's not all of your money because it's positioned to where it needs to go. The business gets paid.
I got to pay the government. Girl, I just wrote that check. Hey, Samara, I wrote that big old check a couple of weeks ago to prepay.
But and you had it.
I had my little amount that they had went by. And I said to Samara, oh, my taxes say I'm supposed to send this as an estimate. She's like, no. They did my first quarter numbers. And she's like, your number is this. I was clutching pearls that I didn't have. But then at the same time, I was like, I had it.
Yes.
I don't know, clutching pearls. It was sitting there. Yeah. I sent it, still some sitting there. And then I owed when I did my taxes. So I sent that and sent the prepayment. And there's still some in there, and I'm still continuing to add to it. But I was just like, you kind of, I'm going to get used to it, but it's kind of just like,
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Because you said something. When you start making more and you want to do business the right way, the thing is that now it's different when you're not used to it. It's a normal thing to say, I want to clench my pearls, but it's a different feeling when you got it. That feeling, if you didn't have it, would have been stressful. But to say I was able to write the check, let's not forget that you and I are black and we're brown. And we make
Right.
money, but no one's teaching us exactly how to structure our finances. When I started Charge Your Worth Academy, I knew that I wasn't a beast in taxes, but I said I have to find someone that is actually going to understand our business and actually help you guys, because
Right.
that's where we get stuck. We want to make money. So there's so many coaches out there. It's like, I could teach you how to make 10K, but they're not going to give you the resource to help you actually say, well, how do you pay your taxes? Well, if I have
Right.
a
So
product line that's
make
coming out,
10K and spend it.
yes, right? Those are things that are super important when you're making the money. So we don't want to preach about making the money. We want to preach about making it and actually being successful in it. So she's a tax
Right.
strategist that's going to help you actually strategically align with what I'm teaching you. That to me is a gold mine when it comes to, and I love that you said, I clenched my pearls, but I wrote the check. That
Right.
in itself is mic drop. How many people can say that they're afraid when they do taxes? Yeah, you might
Right.
not know all of that, but you were not afraid because you were able to write the check. That's where we talk about reserve money.
Last year I was sweating. I remember I was waiting. Joe Biden had changed I think the tax laws, because I had got unemployment.
Yeah.
So they changed, like I was literally waiting for the software to update because he changed something saying, oh, you didn't have to pay taxes on up to $10,000 of your unemployment that you received
Mm,
during the pandemic. So
mm-hmm.
I was like waiting to file my taxes because I owed, like, when I first started doing it, it was like you owe 5 grand. I ain't
Mm-hmm.
got 5 grand. Then I
Mm,
got it down to three, and then when that little tax thing changed, I
yeah.
did the numbers, and then I owed like 1,700.
Yeah. See,
So, but
and
even
that's
with that,
huge.
like, you know, I still didn't have that as a big chunk either. I think I might have put it on a credit card or something and then paid
Wow.
it. This is what I'm doing. Like,
Yeah.
I
Borrowing
was
from Peter to pay
just
Paul, going into debt, trying to figure out where you're doing all these stuff. Instead of you making money every single day, just tell your money what it needs to do. And now you have the resources to do it. That's what I love about what I'm doing, is literally that you guys are not having to worry about, because everybody want to make more money, but then they don't want to play the game, right? And so when you
right.
start getting into that six figure, your revenue goals for your business, you are going to take more home of a profit, right? And then having a great tax strategist is going to be able to show you where you can actually save. So we do have some comments as well. We have Five Financially say, I love it, Darnita. You are doing so well. Dream World Media Group say Angelica is a beast when it comes to this. Thank you so much. And she said, congratulations, Darnitas, and props to you, Angelica. The flex is real. I'm feeling it. Let me tell you this, to be so transparent. I know we're going to wrap up too. And I want to just simply say that when I started Charge Your Worth Academy, it really was just to actually help one stylist. That's really what it was. Is really in the pandemic was like, oh my God, I want people to like know how to run their business, because I was reading the comments and it's like, oh my God, I'm afraid, I'm fearful, I'm this. And I'm like, but we're flexing when we're open, and now we're closed. And instead of
Right.
just saying like, like, yes, God does provide, but God is also the person that says faith without works is dead. Y'all working and y'all dead. Y'all not even doing the part when it's time to work, because you're not structuring your money. So, and I always say this, you cannot serve an abundant God with a penny pinching mentality. Period,
Right.
point, and the blank. And some people are church junkies, and this is off topic. Church junkies are like, I can't invest in myself because, I just got to think about it. I got to pray about it. It's like, did you pray about it when you put it on the card? Did you pray about it when you was in Cosmoprof and you bought $700 worth of products? Did you go pray about it when you wanted to take that next microlink class? Or are you going to have a hard time when it comes to actually, paying your taxes? Are you going to have a
Right.
hard time when you're like, I'm sick and I can't go to work, but I need to make this money? That feeling right
Right.
there is a totally disconnected. And I said, I just want to help one. And I knew that once I was able to write my blueprint, I was able to share it. And you are living proof of that. Making 10K a month, working minimal hours, not stressing about paying your taxes. Your business is now structured in the right way. You're now attracting the clients that actually don't have a problem. You're not having that conversation about pricing anymore, because those
Well,
that needed to remove.
yeah, the new clients I'm getting now, they didn't know my old prices. I even had existing clients. Once I said I was going to raise my prices, there was like those select few that was just like, Yeah, you're really good. I was wondering why you weren't charging more than what you are, because some of these other people out here are charging more and they're not as good as you. And then you
Mm.
kind of be like kicking yourself in the foot, like, so this person would have paid me more. There was those moments in the past. I remember I did like somebody new for the first time quite a few years ago, and I did like a partial weave in her hair, and I think in her mind she knows that weaves can go for a higher amount of money. And then when I told her what I was charging at the time, she's like, "That's it."
Mm.
And I'm in my mind like, "Dang!" It's like I'm doing something wrong.
Wrong. Yeah.
But yeah, the new clients that are coming, like they're loving it. They're leaving good reviews. And it's not even, most of my business was word of mouth.
Hmm.
Now people are Googling because people are not happy with where they're going. So now they're going on Google, typing in black hairstylist near me. And I'm popping up like at the top of the list. And then
Hmm.
my reviews are there, and every single review is a good one. And then that's what prompted me to start doing the video testimonials, because then it's like that's helpful
Yeah.
also.
Yes. And that brings us to this point. I didn't want them to become social media junkies. Like we're all on social media right now. This is a social media. Right now, we're on a social media platform where we're able to engage, right? But one thing is for sure, we changed your platform because you were using Square. I'm anti-Square for all of those. If you come into my program, I'm gonna make you move. I cannot stand
And
Square.
Square just recently changed. I'm reading in the comments of these forums, and Square has made some changes recently, and people are not happy with it anymore.
Exactly. And so we moved your platform. So now you have a salon management tool that works for you where you can send out emails. You can actually not taking text messages and a lot of phone calls. We just changed their system so they can work and support you. And it's been an honor and such a privilege to support you. Like you have no idea. I want to tell you that I appreciate you for number one, taking the time out to actually come on here and share your story because I know it's not easy. Some of your clients could be even tuning in and be like, oh, she charging me more. But this is not about her charging. This is about a business. Darnita is completely separate than her business. One day, Darnita is not going to do hair and is not going to be available to actually do hair. She's going to conquer and soar in different areas. But she also has to position herself where when she has her exit strategy, she actually has the money to actually provide for herself in that season. And that is what she's doing. So I'm super, super proud of you and how far you've come. So let the people know how they could connect with you and what's next for EvanEssence. That is what we want to know.
Well, oh, so you can reach me on bagaro.com/EHS809. If you are new, you must first book a consultation so that we can meet and discuss your hair goals and all that good stuff. And yeah, but
Darnita is having a good old time over there. What is next for you? What do you want to see your business grow? And then one last thing is encourage somebody. If they are on the fence about their life, their journey, what is something that you want to say to the other stylists?
yeah, so again, I'm always quick and to the point. Just do it. I really think you should invest. Like I was somebody who was just anti anything. I was in my little comfort zone, and I'm just like, I'm good right here. I'm just coasting smoothly. I don't want to go too far to the right, too far to the left. I'm good right here. I'm
Mm,
good. But no, then you start wanting more, and it's just like, okay, faith without works is dead. Dead. I literally believe in vision boards. For people out there, I don't remember the number, but it's in Habakkuk. Write the vision, make it plain. So I believe in vision boards. Back in 2015, my church family, we started, I read an article. I'm not trying to go too far off topic, but back in 2015, I think it was the Essence or Ebony. And I read this woman's story about the vision boards. So we incorporated that into our little monthly women's group. So we started doing vision boards, and then some people fell off. I stayed with it, even to the point where they still up. Some things have been completed. I'll rip what was completed and I put new stuff up there. But even the location that I'm in right now, I was inquiring about getting a storefront salon at one point, but then I realized I was not making enough money to pay all that overhead. So then I was just like, okay, I realized that's not for me. Then when I found out about salon suites, I was like, oh, that would be nice. But I was in my house at the time, which was working out great. But on my vision board, I have a printout of I call it a floor plan of the shopping center where I am right now.
Mm.
But I knew I couldn't afford the actual rental space at the time. So I have ordered stickers that has my logo on it that I could stick on products and little things. I kind of printed that out and put it on my vision board with my sticker is kind of on the location where the Phoenix is now. And I didn't know the Phoenix was coming at that time. This was
Mm.
like a year prior. So EvanEssence Hair Salon, even though it's not my name on the front of the building, my name is on the door in the building in that
Mm.
exact spot.
Yeah.
Like,
That's powerful because you had a vision and you didn't know that it was going to come to pass, but where you're located is intentional. And so you also had a vision
right,
that you desired to make more money, right? And a lot of times when we think that we're just scrolling, we're like, well, how are they doing that? That's a vision in your mind that I want to do it. I want to get
right.
there and I can get there. And you will. And now you're on that journey and on that path. So I just want to simply say thank you so much. Wait backstage, say bye to everybody, and I'm going to close out the show.
Bye, everybody. Just do it. Do it. Do it.
So today I am super honored and super blessed to have come into contact with an amazing stylist. You guys heard her journey and you heard how she was fearful, number one. Number two, she's just saying, just do it. And that's what she had to tell herself. She had a vision for herself and she actually just jumped. And a lot of us might be fearful. I wanted to actually take the time out and have my students that are hairstylists that walk through the journey. It's one thing for a coach to tell you, oh, they can help you charge your worth. They can help you do all these different things. You can hear from the horse's mouth. That is a testimony in itself. And just to know that she's now booking out her 10K months, I mean, that in itself, like I said, I set out to help one, and I've had the privilege of helping multiple. So if you are that stylist and you desire to actually take your business to the next level, you can actually send me a message. We have a private group. I am on every social media platform, but you can go to angelicaprather.com and actually book an income strategy call or income discovery call. And it's just a conversation. I also have an application as well, and we'll go over the finances. We'll go over exactly what's missing in your business and how I could best support you. And we are currently in open enrollment. I want you to know that you are worthy and you are capable of reaching whatever life that you desire. That is your blueprint, and you just have to go for it and conquer and soar. So have a blessed and wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys next week. Happy Mother's Day to all the mommies. Bye.